I'll get this into the right hands.
No, you can't. You can't take it to the police. You can't trust anyone.
Then we tell everyone.
Very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Absolutely love Daredevil. It's been a
Great.
superb show.
Yeah.
Reaction's been great.
Yeah, the response has been amazing. I could never have anticipated how pleased people seem to be with it. So that's great.
What was your reaction when you first got the script and you got the offer for the role of stepping into not just the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but like this new corner of the MCU?
Well, when I got really excited, I'd auditioned but I hadn't been allowed to read the script, and then I had a Skype session with Jeff Loeb, from the head of Marvel Television, and he kind of described the show to me, and I thought that was very cool. And then they let me go in and read the first 2 episodes, and then I became really excited because I just thought they were brilliant. I wrote an email to my agent saying they're the best, 2 of the best scripts I've read. They were so interesting and different and unique and sophisticated, and it felt like unlike anything Marvel had done before. So I was really excited about that.
And the tone of the show is very different to that of the movie side of the MCU.
Yeah.
The like Avengers or Captain America side
Yeah.
of things. What did you feel like with the actual tone of the show? Because it's sort of quite dark and gritty and particularly very violent.
Yeah. Well, again, I thought it was. I was excited about that, moving in that direction, and the idea of it appealing to a slightly older audience. And then as I got familiar with the comics, obviously in the preparation I went and read a lot of the comics. As I got familiar with them, it became clear to me that really that's how you need to make Daredevil. It's that it suits the source material really, really well. I love the Avengers films and I love all those characters but really what they deal with is they deal with saving the world and saving the universe. And Daredevil doesn't have superpowers in the same way. He has these heightened senses, and he's a wonderful gymnast and martial artist. But he's not infallible. He's very vulnerable, and that's something that we spend a lot of time dealing with in the show. So I was excited to explore a slightly different Marvel area of the Marvel universe.
You said you started reading the Daredevil comics. Any particular favourite story arcs that you read?
Yeah, the ones I like are the ones that when I'm asked this question, the ones I always recite are there's a really cool series where it's early on in the Bendis Malieve run where the Daredevil, Matt Murdock, defends the White Tiger, and I just think that was such an interesting dynamic for a superhero who the people don't know is a superhero to defend a superhero. So basically, when he's describing and he's helping people understand what it is the White Tiger has done, he's really also talking about himself, and I thought that was a very cool dynamic. Other than that, there's a cool episode where Peter Parker dresses up as Daredevil so Matt Murdock can defend him. There's so many, I love all the stuff with Maya as well, and obviously you can't talk about Daredevil really without mentioning Frank Miller's Man Without Fear.
Absolutely, yeah. So you got the second season coming up,
Yeah.
just been confirmed.
Yeah.
Really exciting.
Very exciting. Yeah.
It's interesting because that's obviously been announced. They'd already announced Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and Iron Fist and obviously Defenders. How does Daredevil slotting into that now affect the rest of the series? Or do you even know how it affects the rest of the series?
Yeah, I don't really know. That's all kind of like obviously being discussed by people who, of much more importance than I am. I imagine, once you've seen the first season, what you'll discover is that the first season deals predominantly with the evolution of Matt Murdock into Daredevil. So by the time we get to the end, we've only just touched on that. And so I think it is going to be valid to have us another 13 hours where we really get to see Matt Murdock inhabit Daredevil and really kind of live in that persona and come into his own, as it were. So we'll do that this year. That will be released presumably some point next year, and then very soon after that we'll then go into the Defenders, I imagine. But I don't know what the time is.
Really exciting.
Yeah.
To get everyone together.
Yeah, and in the same way, when you go and watch the Hulk movie or the Captain America movie or the Iron Man movie, and then there's always that bit at the end, and you get to see how they're going to come together, and then the Avengers come out. It's thrilling, you know. It's it kind of appeals to the child in all of us, I think, and so we've got, you know, the television version of that.
Is there any stories you'd like to explore in the second season, or like another side of the character?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I haven't really thought about it too much. I mean, I'd like to. There's other characters I'd like to see come in. You know, I'd like to see. You know, I'd be interested to see a dynamic between Matt Murdock and Elektra, or the Black Widow, or something like that. You know, I hope we haven't. I don't know, but I hope we haven't lost Wilson Fisk entirely. I believe, you know, he's probably still bubbling away in the background and might make an appearance.
D'Onofrio was fantastic.
Yeah, he's a fantastic actor. I mean, when I got cast, they were talking with him at the time, or they'd already cast him or something, and they told me, and I remember thinking, oh, they mean business. This is serious, you know.
And just to wrap things up, last question: will we be seeing Daredevil mess around with the Avengers?
Oh, I'd love that. I have no idea. I haven't. They haven't. At this point, that has not been discussed with me in any way, shape, or form. But I would jump at the opportunity. That would be a further dream come true. But I have no idea.
That's great.
Yeah, thank you
so
sir.
much. Cheers.